Welcome to PNW Prop Stars, the only Seahawks-only gambling show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and once again, we have the Princetonian parlays down there, center square, Mr. Wilson Kahn. There he is. And standing in for Adam today. It's been a busy week for all of us, but you know him. You love him. The one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz in for Adam with his picks, but through Brandon's sweet, sweet, sultry voice. Brandon, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm ready to deliver Adam's picks because I think he's just a little too scared to show up after getting dominated by you guys this past week.
Yeah, Wilson, what is this about? He goes over, he takes an over, and then he bails on being here. What do you think's happening, dude?
I don't know, man. I haven't been able to think much about Adam this week. My back has been hurting so bad because this crown is getting really heavy.
All right. Okay, so for the folks that don't know PNW Prop Stars, super quick, it's a gambling show. We look at the game from a different angle. We're going to place 3 bets, $10 a pop for bet 1, bet 2, bet 3. Take anything you want. The last bet is $1. The Sunday scratcher, the Sunday rubber, has to be plus 1,200 or longer odds. And we call that one the Fail Mary. It's a fun traverse to check out the game in a different way. Part of the Seahawkers Podcast Network. Listen, you got to please subscribe, do all those things, but let's get right into it. Brandon, you'll be happy to see this. You will be very happy to see that I used some of the stuff you sent me. Look at me, Brandon. There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at this. So we got this beautiful thumbnail. It may have been hand painted and definitely not AI created, but there we are. Seahawks set to crush the Dolphins. This is going to be an interesting one.
And I started on this when the schedule came out back in May, painting this very exquisite.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
work on commission. It's my new thing.
I like how you put the Seahawkers Podcast hat on the Seahawk who's murdering the Dolphin and putting him out.
Definitely not done in Microsoft Paint.
No, not at all. Definitely not. And definitely not at all. And just tell me when the MVC trophy finishes printing, because we got to get that to the VMAC too. All right. We are crossing streams here. So Wilson mentioned his back hurting, and here's why. He won PNW Prop Stars week 1. He won week 2. Wilson went 3 for 3 with his first and second and third down bets, the regular bets. I went 2 for 3. Adam, as mentioned, is shamed and not here, went 0 for 3. Wilson, of your 3, which one did you celebrate the most and why? Which one gave you the most juice and fizz?
I got to say it was the huge game from JSN. I mean, he was all over the place, 12 catches, well over 100 yards. And you'll notice I'm trying to dip back into that well this week.
Yeah, well, look, because I noticed that the Dolphins sometimes have a hard time covering dudes in the slot and covering the middle of the field. So could be quite interesting. All right. So that means you are on the tee box. It is bet 1. Where are you going and why are you taking us there?
Well, I think it's a very clever segue on my part because I'm going straight to JSN. Last week I took him 50 plus receiving yards. This week I'm going to up that a little bit to 60 plus at 125.
Brandon, some juice early from the Princetonian. He's climbing the ladder. 50 hit, 60. What do you think?
Yeah, keep on climbing that ladder. Although I think one of my picks for Adam coming up will maybe contradict this one. And I think there's a decent reason why.
Yeah, totally get it. So yeah, but look, it's one of those things is, when people show you who they are type thing, believe them. And maybe that's a grub thing, being like, look, I know how to use the weapons we have, and I'm going to overload when there's a chance to. And if Jalen Ramsey's on DK, even though DK is Jalen's father, we all know this biologically, but that yes, there's other talent back there in the Miami backfield. But again, the slot, it's been a little susceptible, and we will see if JSN can kind of run amok in the flats over the middle and maybe smash this man. So I like it. Plus 125 also is pretty good money. So I think you're getting out of the gate in a very positive way, Mr. Wilson. All right. That means I'm up on my first down bet. Again, I went 2 for 3 last week. Not bad at all. I didn't hit on my Kenny McIntosh anytime touchdown. Believe it or don't.
Oh,
believe it or not.
How did that not hit?
Yeah. Cause I don't think he touched the football.
No, I think he was only on the field for 2 snaps.
Yeah. So it turns out if you don't touch the football, you can't score a touchdown in the NFL. So yeah, that's the one I failed on, but that's okay. I did go 2 out of 3. That means this week I'm going 3 out of 3 because that's how it works. So I'm going to start with this one right here, guys. Look, and by the way, that's Skylar Thompson. It just wasn't going to put his whole name out there. For those listening, what's on screen on YouTube is Skylar's longest pass of the day will be under 33.5 yards. I don't see much of a difference between Bo Nix and then Brissett being better, and now a 7th rounder who's not Brock Purdy. And they dink and dunk a lot. So as long as we can control the yak that might occur, that's the danger for me, is a stupid screen that goes for this. But I don't see them connecting on a pass longer than, let's say, 34 yards to hit this. So it's minus 120. I don't mind paying it. Brandon, how do you feel about me kind of saying, hey, Skylar, I don't think you got it?
This one makes me a little bit nervous just because there are a couple different ways it can happen. One, I mean, Skylar has the arm to be able to deliver it downfield. He's not the most accurate downfield, but he has the arm for it. And so if interceptions count, then I would be especially even more so worried about this. I don't think they do. I think that's only counting to Dolphins players. But you mentioned the other big one, and that is dump off over the middle. Tyreek Hill gets it, makes a couple guys miss, and he picks up a 35-yarder. And with a guy like Hill on the other side of the field, this would make me a little nervous.
Making him a little nervous, and I get it. And a year and a half ago, or a year ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't bet this. But Wilson, with our newfound defensive, get to the ball and actually tackle, what do you think, dude?
Yeah, the tackling's been good, but we haven't really gone up against a receiver like Hill yet this year. So I'm a little bit suspicious of it, but because it's Skylar Thompson, I can't hate on this bet.
Yeah, his name is Skylar. All right, so that brings us into bet 3, or the first down bet for Adam, but through the vestibule of Brandon. Brandon, what do you got?
Well, I teased this one a little bit because Wilson had JSN going 60 plus. Mine is Tyler Lockett going 50 plus, and I get a little bit better odds than Wilson does with his JSN selection. And I think one of the thinking behind this is that, hey, we didn't have a huge game by Tyler, although he probably hits 50 plus if he doesn't get interfered with on a couple different occasions. So I think shifting away from JSN, if they're putting a little bit more attention on him, should leave Lockett open. DK is going to get his against Jalen, and I think 50 plus has a good shot with Tyler.
Feels a little bit like a Russian roulette, or just roulette. Doesn't have to involve a gun and death.
Nobody has to decide.
It could just be roulette. That we've got 3 wide receivers, and it's maybe a little bit unpredictable as to whose day is it going to be. So Wilson, Russian roulette aside, do you think Tyler gets to this number?
I think Jason and Tyler both get this. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Gotcha. So, okay, maybe it's their 2 out of a 3, and maybe DK takes not the week off, but you get the gist. Okay, I get it. And I like the extra squeeze. I don't love betting on Lockett's trajectory right now because of the volume that's going to the other 2 dudes, and I think that's intentional. But all right, so now that goes to me on my second down bet. Again, another $10 bet. I'll put it on screen there. To me, guys, this one let me read it for the folks that are listening. It is Geno, and that is Geno Smith at 21.5 completions. And again, minus money, minus 130. I don't see things too dissimilarly that I don't think we're going to run the ball very effectively, although the Dolphins have been bad against the run, certainly worse than the Broncos and Patriots have been year to date. With that, though, 21.5 completions. And here's how I got there, guys. I looked at the attempts that Vegas had, the same number, what they were allowing you to bet for attempts. That was at 32.5. So I'm like, okay, if Vegas thinks he's throwing the ball 32, 33 times, then I think he's going to complete more than 21 of these. And because his percentage is what he is, and he's Geno, that's kind of how I got to this. I think it's pretty safe and sound. Wilson, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I doubted you on this one last week, and I think might have even hit in the third quarter. So I think I'm all aboard with this.
All right. The Geno train. Brandon, do you think it's safe, or do you think there's can always go sideways?
No, I'm good on this one. This suggests to me this is going to be another big passing game. And against this Dolphins secondary, we talked to Sam Marcoux of Welcome to Perfectville on our Thursday Night Live episode. If you just thought it was going to be picks last night and you tuned out, you missed out on an interview with Sam Marcoux. and him telling us about his Dolphins suspect secondary. And I think that, this, after what we saw against the Patriots, I think it would be smart to go back-to-back weeks on this.
I think Geno is just heating up, and I think Grubb knows that too. So these are the type of things where I'd like to see a trend and then hopefully ride it for a few weeks before Vegas maybe catches up. And hey, could get burnt, but I got a good feeling about this one. All right. So Brandon, that brings you back up for Adam's second. Where's he going?
Yeah, not too dissimilar, but see, the problem is with your past couple ones, Clinton, is you're going minus odds. And
Yes.
I think that both Wilson and I have gone plus odds, and we've got it here again. So if Geno is completing a lot of passes, throwing some touchdowns, or getting it close and pounding it in from the goal line, then we're going to have touchdowns, which means we're also going to have extra points. It's a little dicey because you don't know for sure when they're going to go for two, when they're going to go for extra points, because from what we've seen so far, we like to chase points a little bit, but that also means we like to chase touchdowns. And if that's the case, looking ahead for Myers and some extra points, it's not too out of the realm of possibility to see us hitting at least 3.
Plus 154 feels really good. It's like, well, it's just 3 touchdowns. But then you look across the NFL, and touchdowns in general are hard to come by again. They are just down. With all that, Wilson, I mean, do we get at least 3? And does Myers stay perfect?
Yeah, I think as long as we get some more touches from McIntosh around the red zone, it should be no problem this week.
Oh, I love that for every single reason. All right, perfect. So that brings you back up, Wilson, on your second down bet. Where are you at?
Well, the one thing that I think I took away from last week for the Seahawks defensively was the rush defense was very suspect.
Mm-hmm.
And with a guy like Achane, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. It's been corrected, I think, in the past on a few occasions. With the kind of volume that he's going to get, I think it's going to be very hard for us to keep him under 80, especially on the long week. He's going to be fresh. Last time out against the Bills, he had 22 carries for 96. So I see him hitting this. I would like a little bit longer odds on it, but I'm still going to take it at 80 plus, or at plus 140 for just 80 plus yards. I think, if he gets 20 carries, I don't see us keeping the average under 4 yards a carry. I'll put it that way.
80 is a lot, and I'm gonna tag somebody in real quick to say, come off the top turnbuckle. What do you think of this blasphemy? Let's see, Adam Emmerich, what do you think, dude?
No thoughts. Just hopped in to say thanks for Brandon for filling in, because I don't know how days work, and I didn't think today was Friday. So, Brandon, good luck selling my catfish picks for the rest of the show, because I forgot to get them in at the last minute too. So it's gonna be a great week for me, just like it was last week with my big fat 0-3. Whatever Wilson just said, I'm sure it's great. So good job, buddy.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
There you go.
anyway, that's it.
Well, I might as well hang out now that you're here, right?
Okay. All right. I don't have anything. Okay.
That's okay. Get some black coffee in you,
All right.
and it's all good. It's great to see you, which is hilarious. Well, I'm happy you're here. Look, 80 feels like a lot, but it did last week as well. And then we got jellied a bit, and Stevenson easily hit that. Then you watched the Jets game last night, and the Jets really bottled up the Patriots all over the place. Different defenses. They're coming off a short week. They got to travel to go play in Jersey versus us going across the country, Seattle to New England. So it's not apples to apples, but there was a difference in how they stuffed the run last night versus how we're doing so far this year. Hope it doesn't come true, but Brandon, do you think it does? Real quick.
Well, I would rather go Achane on his receiving yards versus his rushing yards, I think, just because they're going to dump it off to him a lot. They love to run everybody downfield and get it back out in the open, dump it off. And so I would almost go that direction. And I know what you mean, Wilson. Achane, I think we heard Achane.
Yeah, he said that last night.
Last night.
I was like, what is that? Another version of this name? Let's just decide, people, as a society, how do you say this guy's name? It's too much for me.
I think it's fun. I think it's more fun if we just pronounce it incorrectly and everybody has their own way.
Achane.
We all have fun in our own special way, right? Okay, so listen, the combo package, the OGs, the godfathers of this entire thing. I don't care how you deliver it. Huddle up, tell us what you want, but you are up on your third down bet. So, Adam, if you got it in front of you, talk with Brandon. Tell us what you're thinking.
Okay. Well, the third down bet, I sent it to you. Do I not have it? There we go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Total points. Over 24.5, so 25 points. I honestly don't think this Dolphins D is any good. And I look for Geno to have another big day. I don't think they're going to be able to throw the ball or to run the ball much like last week. And so looking for a bunch of touchdowns out of Geno, high scoring game. And I'm betting on big scoring this week.
Yeah, it's going big. Brandon, since he's kind of representing you now or vice versa, how do you think your partner did?
I think this is good because you have the 3 Jason Myers extra points. So it means you're getting 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
You're probably getting a field goal. Unfortunately, that means, if you only get 1 field goal, then you're coming up short with the 24.5. But, we'll probably safety the Dolphins in there somewhere.
I like that. He's stacking those. They stack logically. Vegas has Seattle coming in around 21 points is what they think. I think they probably overperformed that by a smidgen. I had predicted 27-13 on the What If show. Wilson, do you think we are going to be into the high 20s in this game also? Or is it like another bit of a 20, 23 because we're just not quite firing on all cylinders offensively yet?
You know what? If I had to pick a final score for this game, I would also say 27-13, and that will come into play on my third down bet as well.
Careful. All right. So let's get to that third down, which means, we are on third down, which means we're back to the top. Third down bet for Wilson. Go.
Well, I've been going for the over or under the first 2 weeks of the season, but considering that I am the Princetonian of parlays and have yet to play a parlay this year, I figured this was the week to do it. And as I mentioned, 27-13, that fits this perfectly under 41.5, with the Seahawks still winning by 5 or more. And that's plus 248.
Guys, I love numerology. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 248. Seahawks win. Dolphins don't score a lot. Feels good to me. That under, maybe a bit sus, but hey, again, scoring is down across the league and their quarterback is Skylar Thompson. Adam, is that thing going over, or are we safe with this under, you think?
No, I like this mainly because the reason I think the Seahawks are going to score a lot of points is because the Dolphins offense is going to struggle mightily all day. They're going to have a lot of 3 and outs, which means a lot of possessions for the Seahawks. So I don't see the Dolphins scoring all that much. And again, I think the Seahawks can get to 25, 30 points pretty easy, and the Dolphins end up with 3 to 7. And there you go. You hit the under, you clear the 4.5 easily, and you get a tasty 248. Sure.
Yeah.
I
do like a tasty 248. Adam, you missed my first 2 bets. I was at minus 120, minus 130, but I like them. And I went 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3 last week, but I went a little bit spicier, not too much, but careful a little bit. Back to the JSN combo package, the meal deal here, guys. JSN over 4.5 receptions, JSN over 60 yards receiving. I just like how the maths here. I think he'll be in the 5 to 7 reception range, if not more. And if I think that, well, then I think his average is going to be where it is to get this number. Keeping the math simple. Brandon, is that logical math to you? What's the risk?
Well, this is, I don't know why Wilson wouldn't have gone with this rather than going with the 60 plus, because if he's getting 60 plus, he's probably getting at least 5 receptions. And so why not take the extra, 27?
Well, here's the thing about Wilson. He wins a lot, right? And I don't. So this could end up being the week where he catches 3
or catches 70 yards.
Right. He does one that he gets the breakaway, gets the long touchdown, right? So I can't question the brilliance that is the Princetonian, because the dude has been stacking W's. But I agree. I like how this maths for me. And then Wilson, are you cool if we both celebrate this one by getting over 60?
Absolutely.
Nice. All right. Very good. That brings us back to the top, back to the tee box, the Fail Mary, the $1, the Sunday Rubber, the Sunday Scratcher, plus 1,200 or longer odds. Wilson, that's you. Where are you going with the Fail Mary?
Well, we've been talking about Geno's big week last week and the Dolphins' suspect secondary, so I'm going all in on Geno. That's right. 300 plus yards, 3 plus passing touchdowns, and no picks. A perfect game. And that's a plus 1,800.
Yeah, but I see Adam.
Wow.
jaw dropping because I think you guys were on similar waves. We put Adam texted me because he doesn't know how to work Google Sheets. It's okay, Adam, but we'll do a tutorial.
Google Sheets doesn't work with me. That's what the problem is. Don't you put that juju on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh yeah, so was it alarm clocks? Time zones.
No, that's all my fault. Me not showing up on time today. That's a me problem. The Google Sheets is not me.
All right, so we got a Geno big day on the board here. I know we got one coming soon, so hold on to your hats, people. If your socks are on, they're about to be knocked clean off, but maybe not by mine. Let's see what my Fail Mary is. I'll bring it up on screen. But hey, Geno big day versus a kind of sus Dolphins team. I'm there for it. Mine is this. I'm going all in on JSN. I had called for on What If, our preview show that is out right now. If you're watching this on Saturday or Sunday, go hit the YouTube channel or go hit the Believe network for the Hawker and go listen to What If. My What If Super Hawk was JSN. I forget with how many, like 7 receptions and a touchdown. Well, if you can get 1 touchdown and get your first of the year, then young man, go get your second touchdown of the year at plus 1,400. Brandon, how would you feel if this one hits?
I wouldn't feel bad about it. I would make me wonder though that who's scoring all the touchdowns on Ramsey. Like if DK is gonna, go full father again on Ramsey, then how are we gonna have? Are we just gonna have 5 touchdowns?
Could be. It could be all the touchdowns. Right?
How are these distributed?
We will find out. We don't yet know. That's the power of the future, Brandon, isn't it? Just right. So hopefully a JSN has a day, another big day, and look. This is the kind of bet where you get that first one in the first quarter, right? Seattle goes up like 10-0 or something like that, or 7-0, and it's a JSN touchdown. And then, oh boy, is it on. Is that Fail Mary in play? So that's what I'm feeling. Okay, that brings us back to our last Fail Mary. Adam, I know you were saying earlier or showing earlier your hand a little bit that you're all in on Geno too. Take it away, dude.
Yeah, so Wilson and I were on the same page, and which scares me because earlier his lighting was a shadowy CIA figure, and now he's got one light to the side like a porn star casting director or something.
That is exactly correct.
Yeah, and I don't ever want to agree with that guy, but I guess we do here. And at the end of the day, Wilson and I are definitely on the same page in terms of Geno having a big day. And I wanted to bet on Geno rather than receivers, even though I did put in the Tyler bet, because I know you're heavy on JSN, Clinton. I have the one Tyler bet. And as we've mentioned a few times, like picking the receiver that's going to have the day is a little like spinning the, a curse wheel almost, but opposite, right? Like trying to figure out.
Nobody has to die though, Adam.
Roulette wheel. There it is. Maybe a roulette wheel is better. And so it's hard to know like which dude's going to pop up, but Geno's got to get the ball to all of them, right? Like it's got to leave his hands first. So might as well bet big on him for a Fail Mary. And this would make me happy too, because it would continue to open the eyes of the rest of the league about Geno Cyril Smith's greatness.
Yes, for Eugene himself. All right. So we got 2 out of 3 who are really betting big on a Geno day. It's potentially factual that Wilson is now directing pornography. I don't know, but you'll know it when you see it. So just stay tuned for that. And we ran through this, and I think we've mentioned roulette or Russian roulette or death by bullets far too many times for a gambling podcast. But hey, you missed it earlier. We were talking some serious stakes, but but as always, we had a lot of fun on PNW Prop Stars. Adam, Brandon, you guys homebound, what are you doing for the game? Yes, I realize you guys don't live together. You're not Bert and Ernie, but tell the folks what are you doing during the game?
Not yet, but sticking around the house, watching the game, and looking forward to a big win against the Dolphins. What about you, Adam?
I'm gonna actually head up the road about 5 miles to our buddy James's place. He has built a brand new huge rental cabin on top of one of the little hills there that has stunning views and all that stuff, and he's super excited to have some people over and kind of christen the thing with the Seahawks victory. And so we're gonna go over there, watch it there, probably do the post game from there too. It's gonna be a great time.
That sounds pretty amazing. Wilson, I know you got to go. And then Wilson, I know I got to go. So let's cut it there, boys. It has been a blast. As always, look, if you find value, if you think, wait, these guys are a little bit different, they actually have fun with their Seahawks show. Yeah, we do every single week. So the thing you can do, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. Hit subscribe. That would just be awesome. Hit like. Go to getintheflock.com, become a member of the flock, and support the show, because we're doing this content from the deep in our cockles and the bottom of our Seahawks hearts. We love doing it. We hope you do too. And boys, I think with that,
there's only one thing
left to say.
Yeah, you pause to
Go Hawks.
You were on the top screen. Go Hawks.
that was such a trap. Go Hawks.